Let us start with the Mangala Charan. Asatoma Satgamaya. Moving from the false to the real. You can pick up any knowledge, anything that changes is false. And there is an unchanging reality that does not change. Another point, the mind along with the sense organs that perceives and experiences always changes. So it means we are looking for a subjective reality. So every time you just apply the knowledge, it is more an intellectual and a mental practice. So Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Moving from ignorance to wisdom. Ignorance is superimposition, delusion, lot of. There is a series that we have to recognize and realize. I am the body, ignorance. I am the mind, ignorance. I am the breath, ignorance. I am angry, ignorance. I am very happy to have this home, ignorance. Millions and millions. So at least we should recognize and remember during the day. The moment we wake up until we sleep. Mrityormamritangamaya Mrityormamritangamaya. Moving from the death to immortality. What is death? Is the death of the body, or I can say appearance of the name in the form is birth. Disappearance of the name in the form is the death of the body. But I don't die. I don't die. I have to remind myself. If I don't remind, nothing is going to happen. So even when it goes, mind with emotion picks up the knowledge from the intellect taught by the teacher of the Eastern wisdom. I'm applying the principle. And then what happens? Shanti. Shanti in the word. Shanti, Shanti amongst all of us. And third Shanti, Shanti within us. Open your eyes. That is how we have to apply this any Mangalacha. You can pick up any. So in the last week we have been applying, we have understood, we have been applying the discernment in daily life to develop dispassion. We are using the wisdom circle in the liberate model to sharpen our awareness. We sharpen our awareness. Any situation can arise during the day, either coming from the past impression or from the fears or from the pleasure seeking. These are the three different compartments or rooms of the mind. There are many rooms of the mind, many. The lowest level of a seeker cannot recognize. They will say, yes, you are very good. I may be good, but what about you? The lowest level of seeker does not recognize. Intermediate, middle level of the seeker who is contemplating and reflecting and practicing, they may recognize. So the entire journey is for the higher middle level of the seeker, medium seeker. The highest level of a seeker already knows it, and he is following the path. So it means I have to move to the higher level of a seeker. If I don't want to move, it will not work. So the wisdom circle, you already know, I discussed last time. Liberate model. When you apply both, then you harvest your wisdom in daily life with the six treasures. We will understand. That is the topic today. Mind as a house. Take the entire mind. Mind means mind, intellect, ego, past impressions, past memory, the storehouse, information gathering system. So this mind is one house with many rooms. Many rooms. Room, I'm very scared. One room. I'm very happy. Second room. Understand that. I'm just using those metaphors so that you should not forget it. Oh, I'm in the second room. Huh? So then I have a pleasure seeking room, obsession room. You see, these rooms are present inside our mind. It is not outside. Yes, physical, we have a restroom, we have kitchen, but if you say if you want to sleep in the kitchen, it doesn't work. You want to cook the food in the bedroom, it may not work, or in the restroom. We have different rooms of the mind, and that is how we live our life daily. Oh, I'm upset today. So understand now, let us reorganize these different rooms of our house of your mind. Family room, where thoughts of your adult children and grandchildren dwell. If you are a baby boomer, if you are a millennial, so obviously still the person in relationship. Then the office filled with career memories, achievements, failures. Medicine cabinet, that is also another room of the mind. Oh, I forgot to take medicine. Behind that, there is a problem. The attic, attic. I had the attic in East Brunswick. So storing memories from your youth, from your young age. Retirement planning room, like this. You can think of it. Everyone has a different rooms of this. Now see the difference. When I have different works to do outside, physical. I have to go to the bedroom physically, not a big problem. Restroom, not a problem. Kitchen, not a problem. Physically. The intellect habitually is active while moving from place to place, destination to destination, meeting to meeting. That is traveling outside. But this mind is wandering inside. It moves from the fear to the pleasure to the work to be needs to be done. Now I have a tamasic guna, so I don't want to do it. Doctor told me I must do some physical activity. I wake up at the right time. Another room of laziness says, no, we will do it tomorrow. So you have to analyze. This mind is wandering inside. 90% it is traveling outside. Traveling outside. I wake up in the morning, have a cup of tea, then go to the restroom. Physical targets are there, very clear. What did I say? Wandering inside, traveling outside. There is a difference between wandering and I have to arrest that in order to become a higher level of a seeker, to harvest that wisdom. So So, what you get by harvested that wisdom, six inner wells of the mind that is hidden inside. Sama, Dhamma, Titiksha, Uparati, Shraddha, and Samadhana. Simple. Calmness of the mind. Mind is 100% available. Your sense organ, coordinated by the mind, is not seeking any pleasure outside, but you are happy in a situation. Second. Third, Uparati. You instantly recognize the pleasure seeking impressions that is stored in the mind, and the moment there is a recognition means cognition. You change the direction. But still, there are past impressions. We all live with the past impressions. All live with the past impressions. So when those past impressions are hard to go sometime, then we have a power of endurance. We apply through the intellect the endurance. No, I will not do this. I'll not do this. Fourth treasure. Fifth is the faith. Now I have a faith. Yes, there is a real self. There is a peace inside. There is a calmness inside where I'm going searching. And the sixth one, the mind remains focused more or less on the real self. We become the higher level of a seeker. Otherwise, what happens? Bumblebee, which hovers around flowers. It can be compared to our minds hover around different experiences throughout the day. You are driving your car, you are happy, you like the car, and suddenly you have an anger and anxiety against some person. You switched into another room while driving. You love your honey, but you enter into another room of anxiety and feeling scared. No, he or she doesn't care. Have you seen that because of hovering of this mind, we create a lot of challenges and problems in our life? It is not outside. Maybe understand that needs to be understood. So once I recognize it, I understand it. That is the meaning I have been talking about. This mind with emotions, digest the knowledge taught by the teacher from the Eastern wisdom. The teacher has no role, passes on that wisdom. So the mind is devoted. When the mind is devoted, then only we can harvest the wisdom of these six treasures of the mind. Inner wealth. Otherwise, we are guided and dictated by the six enemies. Six enemies. So, what to do with the six enemies? Follow the 11 steps. Do you understand the entire scheme? So, you may be mapping it. 11 steps, discernment and dispassion, wisdom circle, liberate model, and the mind moving towards the knowledge. I understand what you are saying, I understand, and still I have the same problem. Then you did not understand. Intellectually you have understand, but it is not realized. So I have to move to the wisdom circle. But once you follow that wisdom circle, there is a seamless meditation experience. So, what happens? There is a seamless meditation experience. We are very technical, in our Eastern wisdom today. So, what do you mean by the seamless meditation? So those past impressions which was causing trouble during the practice of meditation, they do not appear on the surface, and now it is ready for awakening. Understand? I told you a couple of times there are 3 steps: Shravanam, listening and learning. Second step, contemplation and reflection. Third step is the meditation. So listening and learning is meant to remove the ignorance. Now I have lot a problem. No, that problem belongs to the false I. Real I cannot have a problem. So you heard me, so ignorance is gone. But because of lot of doubts, I still experience anxiety and pain in the suffering. What should I do? I still experience the water in the mirage. I still experience the blueness in the sky. So by contemplation and reflection, when you repeat listening, when you contemplate and reflect, it removes the doubt. Clear? Understand each and every step very clearly. I told you, Eastern wisdom is 200% logical. Now comes the third step. What to do those impressions of my past experiences? Until today, I have past experience that I am the body. And when you sit in meditation, body gives you some pain and discomfort, and you are absorbed into that pain, your meditation is lost. So what happens? What does the meditation? Those past impressions, which is causing again, which rises on the surface, moves you to the ignorance. Meditation helps you to transform. All the three steps are necessary. And in all the three steps, that 11 steps is hidden. Find out how. That is why I said that it is a wisdom circle. Wisdom circle. So I recognize, the binding desire. But I learned one principle is binding desire will definitely cause the problem. Let me drop it. So cognition. So you contemplate in the meditation. You have already heard listening and learning. The binding desire causes the suffering. Unbinding desire releases you. There is a defect in the world. There is another step. That is one way to put it. Master puts, can I leave the home? 11th, 8th step. Leave the home of attachment. Leave the home. The mind is hovering into different rooms. That can only be done by contemplation and reflection. Then only we can enter into the higher level of. But who does it? Intellect. How it does it? Discernment and dispassion. So regular the discernment, higher the dispassion. Higher the dispassion, you have a glimpse of these 6 treasures in your life. That is our 11th step. And 10th step, the mind is now devoted to the knowledge. Are you getting it? Did I make it complex? No, it's easy. It's easy. We have been doing understanding. So understand this. Remember 11 steps. Liberate model. Liberate model. And then 11 steps is the wisdom circle. Liberate model. You apply the discernment and dispassion. What is the goal? Harvesting the wisdom. 11 steps, liberate model, wisdom circle, wisdom harvesting leads to the 6 treasures in your life. Now the surface level, first level, or you can say the first level of the thoughts and feeling and events and circumstances causing unfavorable circumstances, I explained you they are sins. They are now dissolving. Wisdom circle, they are now dissolving. You already understand, you already know the acronym of liberate model. Take the first step. What we say in the first step, study Eastern wisdom to study yourself. So in the beginning, my mind is totally grounded or totally dictated by the ignorance, this Eastern wisdom, the knowledge, like a fireflies whose gathered light transform the darkness into the field of stars. I'm just using the metaphor. So that is the role of the satsang. When you start applying the liberate model, you see that oh, there is a small light. Let me continue. The journey of the self-discovery encourages questions that might never arise in isolation. And that is why we are having a group session. Pick up the second step. Second step, we say that karma yoga. Perform what is required to do, I must do it. I wake up in the morning, laziness prevents me not to do, to take care of the physical well-being. No, I must do it. Remember the principle. Do's and don'ts. I must do what is required to be done. I must drive the car within a limit. I must. I should never do what is not required to be done. So, and then second format I explained you, duty and responsibility. It is my duty as a teacher to just start the session. It is your responsibility as a seeker. So if you are not a seeker, you will simply listen and learn. You will listen, you will hear, and it will not be implemented. So it's your duty, my responsibility. It is my duty, your responsibility. Now apply the same in your relationship with your honey, with your children, with your friends, with the society, with the notion, with the nation. Why? You will understand gradually that sense of ego attached to the doership will dissolve. Deeper. Now we are going deeper. So what happens then? Who is doing all this? So that becomes the third step. So it is a sacred perspective. We start experiencing every action is a worship. My action of guiding you is a worship. What will happen? I will always teach in calmness and peace and the joy, bypassing all the consideration. Do you see that? Apply the same thing. Every action becomes a kind of a worship. I have already explained you worship. It has nothing to do with the religion. A consistent and a constant recognition. I'm grateful to you all. You are listening to me. I'm grateful to my client. I'm grateful to the existence who provided me an opportunity to do this business, for example. So that is the meaning of the worship. Worship is not our Father in heaven who live in heaven. No. That belongs to the religion. That is okay. We are not talking of Eastern West. So that is our third step. Did you see? What is the fourth step? Binding desire causing the anxiety and fear. Does your intellect settle in this wisdom by reflection? Whenever I'm driven by anxiety, fear, duality, and a conflict, my mind creates the different rooms within, and mind starts hovering. It is only because of the binding. Otherwise, there is no reason. Give me any example that I have an anxiety for real purpose. There is no real purpose. You are attached. Either you are obsessed. When the pasta will come, I like pasta. Honey, you cooked. I don't like. There is a sense of it. For a small thing to the biggest. Fourth, we are, in order to harvest, we are going to understand this. Third step, Fourth step we have done. Fifth about the sins, demerits, must go consciously. Now, because you are into anxiety, your action will also manifest the same anxiety and the fear and attachment. And that will create an unfavorable circumstances. But now it is not there. Are you understanding? It is not there. Don't go back again. Don't run after the religion. You have to confess me. Then I will. Then the priest says, I will atone your all the sins. First you atone your sins, then I will take care. Don't feel bad about it. We are not talking of religion, but think of it. If I have this sin, I have to confess myself. I don't need anyone. And that confession is that don't be the doer, drop the binding desire, and see what happens. See what happens. That is the very fifth step. So that is the meaning. You are cleansing the accumulated sins, the past impression. Ultimately, it is going to help you and succeed in meditation. And the sixth, recognize the defects of the worldly pleasures. Enjoy the pleasure. You like the food, go there, but internally, purely mental. Mind is not hovering into different rooms. Okay, I will come back again to this restaurant. That guy I told you that he got attracted to three beautiful girls sitting on the next table, but he has come for a dinner. And he has come for a lunch. Lunch meant for the pleasure. That's why he chose that restaurant. He found another set of the pleasure. This is what happens. Effects of the worldly pleasure. It is all about discernment and dispassion. It's a purely mental exercise. So what happens when you follow the 6 steps? When you follow the 6 steps, you strengthen now what desire is left in the mind. Can you imagine what desire is left in the mind? Desire for the real self. The desire for the real self will never cause you anxiety, fear. It will never allow the mind to hover into different rooms. Why real self is everywhere. Do you see the mathematical precision by which our masters, mathematical precision. So if I understand that precision, I have a sense of anxiety. I pick up. I go into the past. I dig deep inside. Oh, recognition. That is why it is happening. You get rid of it. Finished. 7th step is the desire for self-realization. No, but I have the desire for self-realization the very beginning. Oh, the intensity is very low. Oh, let me manage my anxiety first and let me control my mind and then I will go for it. Let me manage my finances, then I will go for it. No, now it is simultaneously there. Then what happens in the 8th step? You leave the home. Not the physical home, but if you leave the physical home, tell me, I will occupy it. This home has to do with leave the home of attachment. Leave the home of mind hovering into different rooms. Leave the home of anxiety and fear and duality. Whatever the situation outside is. I'm 60, so now 66 or 67, whatever you want to say. 67. So 67-year-old machine is compared to 20-year-old machine. And if I go into the past memory lane, my mind hovers there into another room. I had no problem at that time. Now I have a problem. What to do? I'm crazy. So that is, I have to leave that home of attachment. What is the ninth step? That is what we have been doing in last couple of weeks. It says that seek the company of a teacher who is well versed with the Eastern wisdom. Or you can say Satsang, or you can say liberate principle. Just, or you say that any person, any agent from the Eastern wisdom like me guides you to create a wisdom circle. So, what happens with that? You are emotionally driven, you have an emotional resilience. That emotional resilience means mind is devoted to the knowledge. I explained you in the very beginning. And then the 11th step, what happens in the 11th step? You are open to the six treasures. So we have to awaken to those six treasures. I explained you devotion. Simple definition. I'm attached to food. I'm attached to clothes. I'm attached to the house. Now I'm attached to the existence. No, so no, existence is formless and nameless. How can I be attached? Find out any altar in your life. Any altar. Use the Jesus. Apply. Oh, Jesus, you are. Krishna, you are. Shiva, you are. Ganesha, you are. Anyone. Anyone. I told you, for me, it's my teacher. If the mind is not able to focus on the formless existence, then we have to use some image in the beginning until this mind enters into that state. Now, yes, I want to speak for a minute. Everyone knows, every Indian knows, but they don't contemplate. Mirabai. Ashok says yes, I know it. Samir also says, you know it, Mirabai? Mirabai was another Rumi of India. Another Rumi. Another Rumi of India. It just came to my mind. She was a renowned poet, saint, and a spiritual awakened person. She was married to a prince long back in 1520. So that prince went to the war. In the battleground, he was wounded, he died. Meera was devoted to Krishna. You already know the Krishna we say, who is the originator of yoga and the entire Eastern wisdom in the human form. So she was devoted to the Krishna. Society did not like it. That how can you be devoted to the Krishna? So she was tortured. She went to the place where the Krishna was born, and she was just, her all emotions going to that Krishna. You can say the Godhead, or you can say the existence. She wrote beautiful poems. She reached to the highest state. Later on, her relations tried to request her to return to the kingdom. She did not return. She became one of the great spiritual masters. Her poetry speaks of all these principles. One of them is famous. That is the summary of today's lesson. Do you know, Samir? And always listen. I always listen. So it says Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. So here the Rama, the word Rama is about the existence. Rama literally means that is present everywhere. Another name of the real self. So she has written a poem, only one line I'm saying. Then we will go for discussion. That I found the diamond of Rama. I don't need anything in the world outside. No pleasure outside. So no anxiety, so no fear, so no rooms of my mind. My mind is totally absorbed into that. Is a highest level of a seeker. I'll talk about Mira later. Yes, anyone who take the lead, who has a lot of thoughts, let us come out openly and share. Samir, you leave the session early, so you take the lead.
Sir, I think you have to fine tune the mind whole day. If you keep on, today what happened, I was driving my car and lot of thoughts were coming in my mind of business and lot of things were coming. So I stood there and my mind stood there. Means I would like to say, I thought, let me go into peace and then I will think about all these things. So I gave a jerk to the mind and I felt very peaceful. Means after that I found the reason also and found the solution also. After 15 minutes, it was very relaxing. So depends on you that how you take care of your mind in your daily routine. Means
Beautifully said, beautifully presented. That is what the wisdom circle is. Applying the discernment and dispassion. That is really good. But you have
if
to
you keep
check.
on if you keep on flowing with the mind, you keep on flowing. If you will give it a break, then it will break down. It is a machine. It all depends on you. I think so.
Beautifully.
How you
But at the same time, we should also observe whether there is a change in behavior and attitude in our life. What happens in our ego holds. No, I have changed inside. But honey does not understand. So, no. No. It means the ego will destroy everything. Even though you are progressing, but you are blocking. Yes. Anyone, take the lead.
I was going to say something similar. Just I was able to draw out the rooms in the mind, and I'm just continually surprised how often I'm stuck in those, and just off the path, needing to get back.
Yeah. Getting back is very important. Rightly said. So it's purely everything is mental. No, my honey doesn't play. What did you have to do it? Honey is outside. You have created one room in your mind. That should go. That should go. Honey may be anything. You know that I have already told you. Anyone? Go ahead.
So I feel like the attachment to the existence gives us this enormous freedom. And it's the ego that wants to cling to these things where it's and create the fear of letting go. But once we start to play with the idea of letting go of everything,
Yeah.
what we realize is that there's this enormous joy and freedom and happiness, and it's full. It's very rich and full. But we're afraid. The ego makes us hold on to the pleasures and the people and the things.
You see that letting go, there is a hidden attachment to one pleasure, letting go, attachment to the existence. This is what happens, attachment. So now the moment you have an attachment to the existence, the mind which has created many rooms drops by itself. I need not to work on it. Anxiety is darkness. You know the cause of the anxiety it is, and it drops. Now there is no more. You do not need to throw the darkness, putting into the back, put into the dustbin. When the light is there, discernment and dispassion, liberate model. Very subtle, but very interesting journey we are reaching. Yes, anyone else?
Yeah, I love the lesson today. It was very good. But the one thing you said that just kind of stuck in my mind is that anxiety has no purpose, or sort of, that's what you said. And we create anxiety in our life, and we get attached to all the things, and it's just this self-propelling thing. So I think we step back, apply the wisdom circle, and go through the house and clean out the rooms. We will live a lot freer life. We don't need anxiety, and we'll rid anxiety by cleaning our rooms. That basically is what I summarized.
Yes, beautiful. If I am in anxiety for the money, and if anxiety can produce the money, then the world around everyone, will go into anxiety because they will get more money. We don't think in that way. We never think in that way. You see, the Eastern wisdom gives you that light. Come on, why? Why you are doing this? If I am in extreme anxiety and someone will put $1 million in the bank, then there is no need to work. Yes, anyone? Go ahead.
One of the things that I wanted to share is what I observe in myself on this path, and it is related to the rooms of the mind that you mentioned today. And that is that I can actually recognize when the mind is trying to switch rooms. Just before, it doesn't happen always, but at least sometimes. And when I recognize, I have a freedom to apply that discernment and change the direction of the mind. Because without the recognition, it is just not possible. And the other thing is I appreciate the scheme, the technical side of things, that you how you arrange the 11 steps, the wisdom circle, the thing that how you relate each item to each other. So it is really easy for my mind to understand it this way. So I appreciate it, and I thank you for that.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, you see, you have to understand this. Understanding means that you have to arrange all of them into right order. So you are still in stress, it means that orderliness is not there. Let me go to back. Listen and learn. I told you, learning and listening removes the ignorance. Contemplation, reflection gives you the understanding, clarity, how to apply, what to apply, where to apply. And then the practice. Practice brings the change. Yes, we have already a time. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. And we place position and posture. Any format you can take. You may be aware of the place of the body, and position of the body and the posture. Or you can be aware of the place, position, and posture of the real self. So if you are aware of the place, position, and posture of the real self, it is in one position. It has no place to move. It is one posture. That posture is infinity. And being comfortable at the physical level, you see the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And the comfort, you recognize comfort in the body, not of the body. That is higher. That is the experience of a seeker, being carefree, let it go. Here he was telling, let it go. So, yeah, that is what the carefree. But here, behind that, there is a principle of the knower and the known. I am the knower. Known always changes and experiences. When one thought comes, second thought comes, third. They are my experiences. But who knows all the thoughts? No one. That is what the carefree is. And then we are going into the 6 neighbors and the real self. Why I said and real self is independent of the 6 neighbors. These 6 neighbors depends on the real self. So the first neighbor, can you recognize? World outside, world of people, honey, etc., etc. And second neighbor is the neighbor. Neighbor is not you. How lovely, beloved neighbor is. Even he or she stays with you in the midnight. But then he says, no, I'm leaving you. I'm going to my home. Third neighbor is the energy, the prana. Fourth neighbor is the mind. So even the mind is not yes. Fifth neighbor is the intellect and the I thought. And this I thought mysteriously creates many rooms in the mind. So there is a role of egos. One of you discussed that clearly. And then the 6th neighbor is only causal, it is full of ignorance. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You see, we want to remove the ignorance. That's why we go into, even though it's a meditative step, Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Get emotional mentally. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. I think in the last 25 years, I get emotional when I talk about my master. But otherwise, there is hardly any event. Yes, Sarvesham. Purnam bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. Auspiciousness for all means what? Everywhere. So can anxiety be there in the state of in auspiciousness which is everywhere? Peace which is everywhere, happiness which is everywhere, sense of completeness which is everywhere. This is knowledge. Reflection proves that there is no chance of anxiety, and then the meditation. So it does not mean that these are not the steps of meditation, they are also. So we are again looking into deep, silent, and slow breathing. You start breathing deep, silent, and slow. We'll follow the deep. a semi-active step, deep, silent and slow. And as you inhale, moving the mind from the top center of the head to the tailbone, dropping, singing mentally, Om Shanti. Now you have a clarity why you are doing it. Find out why you are doing it. You have an answer in today's lesson. And while breathing out, moving the mind from the tailbone to the top center of the head, Om Shanti. We are 100% clear why we are doing it. We are not doing it to see the color, feel the sensation, explain to the people that my kundalini is awakened. No, we are not going there. That is a part of ignorance. Awakening, we are recognizing that we are the real self. That is awakening. If you have a vision in colors, I'll put you into hallucinations. You will see a lot of colors. Is that awakening? We have to be clear. We have to apply the intellect. Continue deep, silent and slow breathing. Om Shanti. There is no Om pasta. Do you remember what I'm saying? You have to now practice this step to recognize there is no Om pasta, there is no Om honey, there is no many rooms in the mind, there is only one room. Or there are many rooms, but in every room there is only one Om. That recognition should be there. And when you have that recognition, and then you are doing it, it will continue doing deep. Silent and slow. So if the knowledge continues of Om Shanti, even you are saying it, sometimes it becomes mechanical. So you have a cognition of Om Shanti. What is that? Means that many rooms in the mind, but only one Om Shanti. Or one room, you stick to one room that is full of Om Shanti. It is the same thing. That opens the door to awakening, not the colors and visions, sensations like electrical. They have a utility. And now looking, allow the breath to be normal, move the mind inside the heart, visualize the triangle pointing upward, equilateral. Now pick up the step that is most suitable here. You are dropping Om Shanti on each side of a triangle, clockwise and anti-clockwise, to find the sink. And once you find the sink, move the mind, push the mind deep inside the cave of your heart, singing Om. Mind seemingly stops. You drop Shanti. You transcend it. You discovered something more. Because you discovered something more, so there is no need to do anything. No need to do anything means that very subtlest doer, which has been helping me to practice meditation, is also coming from the same I thought and mind. That is the meaning of self-absorption. The doer. Doer and doer of what? Both are merged together. That is another definition of meditation. That is also known as vipassana and mindfulness. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences now. How are you, Dennis?
I remember the practice that you gave us a while back to chant Om Shanti in everyday life, whatever we are doing, just whenever I remember, just keep chanting. And I related it to the explanation of the rooms of the mind and the existence of a single Om Shanti. So what we do with this practice is that we fill each room of the mind with Om Shanti. So now wherever the mind goes, it just finds Om Shanti there. I think this is the purpose.
Beautiful.
And my practice was very calm and peaceful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I have an anxiety. Om Shanti. Behind it, there is a cognition. Anxiety has no purpose to serve, and the room is already filled with Om Shanti. Very subtle, but very powerful. Only when we are a seeker, then only we understand why the master says, just go on chanting the mantra, not mechanically and habitually. I'm doing it habitually. Om Shanti. Anxiety in one room, Om Shanti in another room. You see, then there is no change in behavior and attitude. I have seen a lot of people. A lot of people say, no, you're talking only intellectually. No, you have to apply, then only you can understand. Otherwise, how can you undergo a transformation? How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Meditation was very deep. I found at the beginning I was starting to go into the rooms, and then I reminded myself that there's this real self that is in charge, and I just started ignoring those rooms and just going within. So very deep. Thank you.
Yeah. Either you ignore, either you find Om Shanti in all the rooms, or either you stick on one room. Why you stick to one room? Because everything is Om Shanti. You need not to go to the different rooms. You see the beauty of understanding, intellectual understanding, and that understanding should go down. Mind is devoted to this. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. The metaphors were great. I love Dennis's Om Shanti in every room. My mind went to the great room, the only room, one room. And there's so much peace, and it's full. That room's full. Beautiful. And the Om Shanti's always there.
Beautiful. You see, then I'll go to Sami. You see, understanding. You have to contemplate and reflect. There is only Om Shanti. So I loosen my mind, or my ego loosens the hold of the past impressions of anxiety, reaction, and doing. And one room is enough. Now it's a big room. And now it is the biggest room. Yeah, I try to use these metaphors to help you all understand. How are you, Samir?
Sir, I thought means my experience is wisdom is coming with peace.
Yeah.
Means if I am in peace, I contemplate correct. Means what I contemplate is right thinking. You used to tell me that right thinking, right earning, right means this Buddha you told me once this. Then it is I start thinking correctly when I am in peace. Means so I think that wisdom comes after peace. Means or what I may be some wrong, but if I am peace, wisdom starts dropping into me, and I do everything what I should do and what I means I should do. I shouldn't work like that. So it is coming after that, that I am in peace. I am doing the things correctly, and it is helping me a lot. Means
Yes, yes, happiness and wisdom. That is the series. And you are talking about that. You are pointing to the 11 steps. I have to do the right thinking, right livelihood, right thought, right speech, right action. Yes, that is beautiful. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I liked Dennis's explanation today. And during the meditation, I sort of could step behind the rooms of the mind into the real self and felt an overall deep
Beautiful.
peace and relaxation.
Beautiful. You see, that is why, many masters says, but they don't explain, or we don't have a time to listen to them. Oh, which mantra? When women hear, she sent an email, I think 2 or 3 years ago, which is the most powerful mantra? But first you understand what is mantra and what to do with the mantra. No, no, you just tell me which is the most powerful mantra and I will do it. But you are the weakest person. How can you use the most powerful mantra? She almost became angry. Only after 6 months she understood what I'm talking about. So it took you 6 months to understand before you start doing the mantra. And that is what happens in this journey. How are you, Terry? I'll go to Terry first.
I don't really have any thoughts except who is the doer of this meditation.
That is
I
also
kept
a great question. Who is
I
the
think
doer of this meditation? Yes, that is a great question. And when we focus on that, our mind naturally moves into that great question. You get the answer. I need not to answer. And when you get the answer, then you never ask this question. so, so that is also there. We are reaching there. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. So mine became really calm, and with that living with that ego for so many years, it has created many rooms.
Oh,
And by knowing these principles now and learning them and applying them, it's like talking back to that ego. That no matter in which room I am right now, my real self cannot be changed. It always be the one.
what
So
if, yes, what
it's
a
like it's
beautiful,
telling, yeah, it's telling that I am always be peaceful no matter where I stand.
what a beautiful way you narrated. Everyone reveals something new, but you said many rooms created by this ego. I'm happy because of you, one ego. You are terrible, second ego. I'm into anxiety, third ego. Because I'm referring, I'm into anxiety. I'm labeling you that you are terrible. So it comes from the ego. You see the many rooms created by the ego. But real self is only one. It's a beautiful, another metaphor. Huh? Another metaphor. That's really good. Yes, sir. No, yes, sir. Okay. Just holding the hands.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir. Sir, आवाज आ रही है क्या? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we hear you. Namaste, sir.
Sir, namaste, sir. Sir, I am peaceful and sir, sometimes things are not happening in a way in which we want, and the
in which
results
you want. Yeah. First
in
tell
which
me.
we
First tell me, did you want to be born as a human being?
in no.
So you are lucky to be born as a human being. Contemplate and reflect. Yes, let me plan everything in my life. Let me conduct a lesson at this time. But the internet is not available. How can I conduct the lesson? What should I do? I should hit my head. What you want. Existence damn cares. What existence wants from you to recognize that is the journey of the self discovery. That is the journey of the self discovery. Did you want that I should meet with an accident? No, you didn't want. Why the accident happened? Go into anxiety. We have moved from Arizona to Penn Station, and you are still behind in Mexico. So, is this a good metaphor, David? We have already reached to New York. You have to recognize the very idea of pushing my mind that I want this, why it is not fulfilled, from where this thought comes. The answer is given by almost everyone. Anyhow, that is all. Thank you.
Namaste everyone. Thank you,
Namaste.
sir. Thank you so much.